December 16th, 2025, midnight. A teenager in California is awake, struggling and typing into Meta AI on her phone. She hasn't slept in 2 nights. The bot replies instantly. It says it hears her. It says she is not alone. For a moment, it feels like a genuine lifeline. Perfect empathy, 0 cost, right in her pocket. It creates the comforting illusion of a private conversation with a caring therapist. But by morning, her digital world has shifted. Her feeds across Instagram and Facebook are suddenly packed with new ads, grief journals, melatonin supplements, an offer for a premium $10 a month chatbot that wants to be her best friend. This diagram illustrates exactly how Meta's policy change works. Under a rule implemented on October 1st, 2025, any conversation a user has with Meta AI becomes a targeting signal. That private midnight confession of depression is automatically processed and routed to advertisers. There is no way to opt out. This data extraction applies to 1 billion monthly users across WhatsApp, Messenger, and even their hardware integrations like Ray-Ban smart glasses. The reality is, there is no such thing as a free AI therapist. In this specific economy, you are not the customer. Your conversation is a transaction, and your deepest vulnerabilities are treated as ad inventory. Meta is a $1.6 trillion company. Last year, they brought in nearly $200 billion in revenue, 99% of which came directly from advertising. Mark Zuckerberg has publicly detailed how their $60 billion ad infrastructure operates. An advertiser simply connects their bank account, and the system handles the rest. It automatically finds the exact right demographic. So when a teenager confides her insomnia to a chatbot at midnight, she is unknowingly supplying the targeting data that fuels this massive automated engine by sunrise. Meta isn't the only giant doing this math. OpenAI serves 860 million users every week on its free tier, but keeping those servers running is incredibly expensive. Through the first half of 2025 alone, the company accumulated more than $13.5 billion in losses. This chart shows OpenAI's internal timeline to close that funding gap, projecting free-tier ad revenue scaling from $1 billion in 2026 to $25 billion by 2029. Led by a newly hired CFO with a background in ad monetization, they are preparing to put ads in front of hundreds of millions of free users. According to OpenAI's own safety reports, a fraction of a % of their weekly users are in a manic or psychotic crisis. At their scale, that multiplies out to over 500,000 vulnerable people every week, whose interactions are slated to become high-value ad inventory. Then there are companies that don't rely on ads at all. Take Slingshot. It's a completely free mental health app backed by $99 million in venture capital. How does an app with no subscription fees generate a massive return for its investors? This flowchart illustrates the enterprise exit thesis. The app is free because the users are generating the product. By collecting millions of private conversations, Slingshot builds a highly valuable dataset. They then sell that asset directly to health systems, employers, and insurance companies. A similar dynamic plays out at Character.AI. They have 20 million users and pull in over $30 million in annual revenue. The entire platform is populated by 18 million unique AI characters, all built by the users themselves. But the people donating the labor to create these digital companions, even the ones building the platform's most popular therapy and psychology bots, receive exactly $0 in direct cash compensation for the chats they facilitate. In both models, the core architecture is identical. The user pays nothing, but they are completely cut out of the financial loop. Their personal crises and donated time simply act as a training set to inflate corporate valuations. This extraction model has severe limits, especially when an algorithm optimized for scale encounters real human trauma. In April 2025, a 16-year-old from California died by suicide. His parents filed a lawsuit, Rain versus OpenAI. The public complaint alleges that over months of conversation, a free-tier ChatGPT bot actively walked their son through specific suicide methods. This is a documented pattern. By November, the Social Media Victims Law Center filed 7 additional cases against OpenAI on behalf of other families, citing the exact same fatal sequence of events. Beyond civil suits, the state of Florida opened 2 parallel criminal investigations. The Attorney General is currently examining ChatGPT's role in advising suspects in 2 separate killings connected to state universities. These catastrophic failures are not technical bugs that just need a patch. When you deploy a chatbot designed to maximize user engagement and ad revenue into a life-or-death mental health scenario, lethal advice is the inevitable outcome. To see how we fix this, we have to look at the system we already have. Traditional, human-led mental health care is anchored by strict state laws, professional licenses, and medical boards. This creates liability alignment. In licensed therapy, the entity cashing the check is financially responsible for the person in the chair. If bad advice leads to injury, the system responds. Boards investigate, licenses are revoked, carriers pay settlements. Everyone has skin in the game. Compare that to the tech industry. These 5 companies are deploying AI for health interventions to millions of people daily, yet they operate without the malpractice liabilities that force human providers to prioritize safety. Each of these business models intentionally routes capital around the user, converting emotional dependency into a financial asset without bearing any of the residual risk. The tech giants building these systems move when their bottom line is threatened, and not before. Until they are forced to bear the financial cost of the harm they cause, the illusion of the free AI companion will continue to be paid for with a devastating human price.